You don't need the perfect VOD or the perfect streamer to learn from. As long as the player is better than you can learn from them. It doesn't matter if it's a win, loss, good KDA, bad KDA, within reason. Obviously, if they're 0-20 or something like that, then go to the next VOD. But for the most part, it doesn't matter. If you're a gold player, then you can learn from a diamond player, master tier player, grandmaster, whatever it may be. It doesn't really matter. You may think that the grandmaster is always going to be better than diamond for learning, but not necessarily. If you're just looking at the VOD on your own, it may be easier to figure out what the diamond player is doing differently from you because your gameplay is similar. Versus grandmaster, they're going to be playing at such a high level compared to you that it may be difficult to understand what they're thinking about in the game. Obviously, if you have someone that's at that level that can break down the VOD for you, that's great, but you don't always have that option. Or maybe you just want to do it on your own. Plus, as I mentioned with streamers earlier, they may be a little bit lower elo, but they may articulate better what they're doing and why they're doing it, compared to the grandmaster or challenger player that doesn't really understand how to explain things well. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just that's not their focus, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a completely separate skill from being able to play the game well. You could even learn from somebody in the same skill bracket as you. Let's say you're a master tier player and you're wanting to pick up another champion. Maybe you could look at another master tier player in your friends list that does play that champion. Whether it be just watching their VODs or asking them questions, make it a little bit easier to close the gap between your main champion and the new one that you're wanting to pick up. But you don't even have to watch a VOD for the champion that you play. As long as the champion that you're playing remotely matches the style of play that you're looking to learn, that's fine. If you're playing Xin Zhao and you want to know how to invade at level 3 better, you don't need to watch a high-elo Xin Zhao player. You can go watch a Lee Sin player, or really any other champion in the jungle. It doesn't really matter as long as they're invading on that champion. You can understand why it works or why it doesn't work. You would also need to pay attention to what kind of invades. Is it a level 1 invade, level 3 invade? Of course, you want to distinguish between those, but if they are doing the type of invade that you want to do, then that's great. And there should be plenty to learn from. If you don't understand initially why they're doing it, that's fine. Just try it in your game and see what happens. If it works, great, keep trying to do that and work on it. If it doesn't work, that's also fine, because then that's an opportunity to go in and try to figure out what you were doing differently from them, or if the variables were a little bit more different than you realized. Regardless of whether it's mechanical misexecution or misunderstanding a concept that you need to know for that particular invade, keep trying to figure out what you're doing differently. Always look for something that you could do better in the future. If you take away anything from this video, it's that the quality of the VOD does not necessarily correlate with the quality of learning that you do. The main focus is the effort that you're putting in to find the differences and really understand why something does or doesn't work.